Hello, everybody. Welcome to our UCFB General Undergraduate presentation via webinar format today. My name's Jo. I'll be taking you through the presentation that you can hopefully see on your screen. We're going to talk a bit about UCFB, who we are, what we do, and why what we offer be right for you as a HE institution and to choose to study with us. So as I said, hopefully you'll be able to see in front of you a welcome slide that says, kick off your career in football and sport, UCFB, University Campus of Football Business. So we're going to get started. This webinar will probably take about 30 minutes. So 30 minutes, and this is a recording, but if you do have any questions, we will also be signposting you to where you can email, and find out much more information, which might be, again, right for you after you've viewed this. So first of all, we're going to cover why UCFB. So first of all, I suppose your first question might be, what is it? So UCFB stands for University Campus of Football Business, and we're a higher education institution. We are based in the Etihad Stadium in Manchester and at Wembley Stadium down in London, which I'll go into a bit more later on. And we predominantly offer degrees in the sport, football and events management industries. So might become more clear when you have a look at what we offer. So you can see the sector on your screen. You've got media and marketing, you've got coaching, PE and psychology, and you've got business and law, and then finally events. You've got the degree that we offer, which is the sort of third column over. So you've got football, business and marketing, football, business and media, multimedia, sports journalism, sports business and sports broadcasting within the media and marketing sector. And as we go down, coaching, PE and psychology, you've got football coaching and management, physical education, sports business and coaching, football coaching and talent development, sports psychology, football coaching as a blended degree, which we will talk about a bit more later. That's just a different method of studying with us. Business and law, football business and finance, international football business, sports business and sports law, and finally events, so your degree, stadium and events management. Now, as you can see the different campuses down the side, all of our courses are actually offered at both of our campuses except sports psychology, which is offered at our Wembley campus. So you might now have more questions as to not particularly what we teach, but where we teach it and how we teach it and what makes us different than other HE institutions that you might have come across before, or obviously if you're at your research stage. So what we teach, as I mentioned before, football, sport and events. Where we teach these university degrees at Wembley Stadium down in London and the Etihad Stadium, or Etihad campus in Manchester. Two really great student cities, very diverse in what they have to offer, and just, I suppose it just depends on where you want to study, where you want to be, because it's a big decision, not just what to study, but also where you'd like to live. And obviously if you want to stay local, if you want to move away, that will give you I suppose different options than someone else. So how we teach, so we're quite based, we base theory within a classroom, and depending on the degree you study, it will depend on how much theory classroom base you have. We also do a lot of guest speakers. So the guest speakers are, and we talk about a bit more about this later on, but they're to inspire you, they're to really inspire a bit of passion, I suppose, and to hear from someone in the industry. So you're not just hearing from your teachers, learning the units, and just doing it all in a sort of textbook fashion. You're learning from industry professionals as well, because they're the people who can tell you what your everyday life will be like, what your day-to-day sort of tasks might be, and whether then you can think, well, do you think that will suit me? Can I see myself doing that in a few years' time? And finally, networking opportunities. So within sport and football, especially, it's very competitive, really competitive to get yourself a job within the industry, because lots of different people and lots of people want to work in a very varied sector that really no 2 days are the same. So again, your networking opportunities are based around work placements, but also giving you the opportunity to prove yourself within the workplace and getting the skills that you'll need then to, secure that job that maybe lots of other people are going for. So what would make you different? What would make that employer employ you? And it may well be that you've been on work placement to them, or you've been to a very similar company and you've managed to develop a skill set that they will then value. So again, hold that thought, because we will talk a bit more about enrichment and employability later on. So where are we? So as I mentioned before, at the Etihad Stadium in Manchester, and we're at our Wembley campus, which is based in the Wembley Stadium and the surrounding areas, which is down in London. And that'll become clearer when I show you what we call our campuses. Now, when you look at a university, they will all have on offer a campus, which is where you will study. It doesn't just have to be one place. It can be sort of multiple buildings in multiple areas with multiple uses. So I'll move on in a second to what we offer. So as we have the stadiums as the heart of our campus, so in the centre of our campus. We're going to look at Wembley first. So Wembley, again, you should be able to see it in front of you on the screen. We've got Wembley Stadium in the centre, as you can see, and all the way around Wembley Stadium, we have lots of different facilities that we use for different things. So as along the bottom, you can see academic facilities. On the key at the bottom, accommodation, sports facilities, UCFB office, and they're all used for different things. Now, obviously, we're not going to be playing football on the Wembley Stadium pitch. So again, if you're looking at a practical degree, you'll be looking at some of these surrounding facilities that you would use for learning practically or being assessed practically. And again, it's just all of these different things make your campus. So they all come together to then make your campus. Now, the Etihad is very similar. We've got, that's students studying in one of our boxes that we use as classrooms within the Wembley Stadium campus, which is a really cool place. And you're enveloped by the industry, and you are very much, it's exciting, it's vibrant, it's a really vibrant place to learn, and you won't be overwhelmed if it comes to them working in a similar facility or a similar place once you graduate or when you get in work experience with us. So again, we have our Etihad campus, which is a similar vibe. You're looking at stadiums, you're looking at being enveloped in the industry, you're looking at work placement opportunities, but it's just where you want to be. So again, Etihad is in Manchester, and you've got a similar looking campus, just with different places that we use for different things again. So again, look across the bottom, you can see academic facilities are in green, accommodation in orange, blue are the sports facilities that we use again for practical, but we also may be classroom based as well, and the UCFB offices are in purple. So you've got a multitude of facilities to use, and these are really, really fantastic to grab the opportunity to be given the opportunity to use these, because again, it's giving you experience already to then work within what may otherwise be quite an overwhelming environment, but you'll be studying in it. So you've already got that as a basis, I suppose, as a basis to once you're studying and then once you go out to get your job. Okay, so we've talked quite a bit there. So for the first 10 minutes, we've been discussing what's on offer at UCFB as a HE institution. So what can you study and where might you study it? We're going to move on now to sort of the third strand that we discussed. And when you're looking at going to a HE institution to study a degree, you are also looking at what else can they offer. Not just the degree. The degree is sort of one part of the offering, but what else can they offer to you? You're going to be paying to attend a university in most cases, and so it's getting the best value out of that university experience. So the two big words that we really focus on, and hopefully you can see on your screen, is employability and enrichment. So employability, it's how employable are you? Even if you look at yourself right now, why would, maybe if you and all your friends went for the same position, the same job, why would you be the person to get it? Or if you don't think you would be the person to get it, why not? What else could you sort of bring to the table, or what else could you develop? So enrichment. Now, enrichment is a really broad word, but enrichment means enriching you as a person. So making you rich in experiences, rich in skills, rich in qualities. So again, it's how do we do that as a HE institution? How do we help you? How do we help you get there? I suppose, get there and make sure you're getting these jobs that you want. So one of the first big things are these guest speakers. Now, some of these guest speakers you may have heard of, and some of them you may not have heard of. But actually, the key is listening to not just their experience, but their opinions, looking at where they think the sector may be going, because football and sport and events is an ever-changing sector. It changes all the time. So we're looking at where they think it might be going. You're kind of looking at maybe if they have niche areas of interest that you've not explored as yet, that might give you the thought, oh, actually, I quite like the idea of that. I'm going to look into that, whether it be work experience, whether it be maybe writing an assignment on it. So I'm going to look into my research of it. There's lots of different things you can take away, but also it's watching these guest speakers and taking away what they have done. How did they get to where they want to be? Especially because a lot of them we would all class as being very successful in their career. So guest speakers, if you're looking, some of them are general. They come in as a general sector guest speaker, and they might be talking about their sector experience in football or sport, but that we also have the sort of degree or the subject specific guest speakers that will be coming in to speak to you. If you're studying a media related degree, they would then come in and speak to you about the media industry or their experience within that, which again are really quite niche and quite specific to then your course, which is great. So away from guest speakers, we've also got other things that we offer. So we've got the UCFB Award in Football and Sports Leadership, and these are just a few things that are given as an opportunity for you, and you don't have to do them. They are an enrichment opportunity. So your FA coaching badges, so your FA level 1 and level 2, if you haven't already got them, you can be studying at UCFB and getting those at the same time. Agent training, so if you like the idea of being a sports agent, which a lot of our students are actually very interested in the agency pathway, we offer a program that's delivered exclusively to UCFB students by experienced agents, and they talk about the ups and the downs and the requirements, I suppose, for a really strong network in that industry. Because if you've not got people coming to you to represent them, then the earning potential isn't going to be, well, you're not going to be successful, especially if it's going to be your own business. Match commentary workshops. So you might think, I can't really see the relevance maybe within what I want to do as a career, but match commentary and public speaking go hand in hand. If you can sort of commentate, you can public speak, you can be confident in what you're saying, very often that can secure you a job, but it can also really allow you to showcase yourself, not just in an interview not just as an interview perspective, but within a workplace. If you can speak in front of people confidently, eloquently, and actually make your point very, very well, then that will often, really go in your favor. And I suppose above all, these things on the screen at the moment, they're going to enhance your CV. You're going to hopefully be put above people who haven't proactively built on their skill set by doing and by undertaking opportunities like these. So hopefully that makes sense. So it's what else can you be doing to make sure you're on the top of that, make sure you get into the top of that pile. So industry partners, so we have lots of these. And again, it's really important that as a HE institution, we have partners who will allow our students to gain really valuable work experience and put you to the top of that pile when you're going for these opportunities. And, very often, even in 10 years, if you've been in your career 10 years, you may well be thinking back and still talking about experience that you gained when you were studying. So again, it's really important all the way through. So we've got some really great industry partners, especially within football and sport, because we are very niche in what we offer and in the areas that we offer. So UCFB signed a 5-year deal with the National League in July 2017 to be its official learning provider. The agreement provides students the opportunity to gain valuable work experience across the league's 68 clubs and its 3 divisions. Again, you're going to get loads of opportunities to go in at different leagues. With, I suppose, clubs within different leagues have very different offerings. If you're going to work for one of the smaller clubs compared to the bigger clubs, your day-to-day life would maybe different. So again, it's just experiencing that and then knowing where you want to be, knowing where you want to go and where you want to place yourself. That's one of the main points in doing work experience. Now, again, some of these you will recognise. Some of these are some of our recent work experience placements. Some of these you will recognise, some of them you may not. And that's, again, great. We'd rather you go to something maybe that you hadn't even thought of, and or even hadn't really entertained as a linked area to what you're studying. But then when you go and you experience it, you might think, I think I've just found, where I want to go with what I'm studying. So it's all on offer. If you want to go to something that you've thought you've wanted to do, that you've put your passion and your heart into for your whole life, and then when you go, you think that was amazing. That's definitely what I want to do. Or you might think, oh, well, I do maybe want to do something within that, but I'm going to sort of specialize further and look further into what maybe I want to do in that area. And again, you'll be able to see some of these coming up. You will know some of them, others you might not have heard of, but it's just showing you how many opportunities are on offer. And it's really exciting where you could be within just a few years. So I'll just give you a chance to have a look at these. Now, some of these companies that we work with, they are, well, all of them are from a vast array of sectors. We're not just looking at sort of putting all your eggs in one basket in one very, very small area of one sector. We're trying to make you have the experience to transfer your skills, your studies, your experience to wherever you want to go with them. So again, have a look. It's totally up to you. Even on the same degree program, you might have very different career aspirations than your friend or your, other people in your class. You don't all have to have the same career aspirations. It's best that we don't, I suppose. So then we've got variety, and we've got people in different areas and looking at different areas to work in and get work experience in. So work experience, again, really important. I know you probably think, oh gosh, she's talked about work experience for a long time now. But if you've got a degree, that's great. But if you've got a degree partnered with experience, that's even better. And you're going to be much, much more of an asset to an employer. You're going to be much more of an asset. You're going to bring new ideas. You've seen how it's done somewhere else. You're going to come in with a confidence because you've experienced, very, very similar. So work experience. Guest speakers, I did mention these earlier on. And again, I'm going to whiz through these just to let you see them. But the key point of guest speakers, and I suppose the sort of the very important aspect to your curriculum at UCFB is learning from not just guest speakers who you've heard of. I mean, you may have heard of all three of those, or you may not have. It's actually hearing from guest speakers who you may not have heard of before, and hearing about their experience within the sector that you want to work in. And again, it can be really enlightening to think, oh, actually, I think they're doing what I might want to do. How did they get there? Or what maybe were the errors that they made? Because often they're very honest and they'll tell you the errors that they made in their sort of career, and you can learn from it because you're right at the beginning of yours. So again, I'll just whiz through these, but you may well have heard of some of them. And some of them offer a really sort of open dialogue of Q&A. Others, it's more of a presentation or a guest lecture style. But again, there's always a moment to learn from what they're saying, even if it's about their career or about where they think the sector's going to go, or what they think about a certain controversial issue that's within the sport or within the area at the moment. It's really interesting just to hear sort of where they're at. Different person, different input, different experiences. So now we're going to move on to graduates. So when a HE institution is looking at a sort of gauging their merit, a lot of onus is put on the graduate. So where did students go who studied, with us? Where have they got to? What roles have they secured? What experience have they secured? So you've got a few on the screen now. And again, it's really important that you're thinking, right, okay, well, where do I see myself? So if I was to come up, if you were to put yourself in one of these pictures on this slide, where would you like that role to say? When it says UCFB graduate and then it says now. So where would you like that to say, and at where? And don't worry if it doesn't ring true all the way through your studies, but it's just to have a general idea, even just very general, about where you want to go. It will really, really help you when it comes to relevant work experience, using relevant examples for your assignments, and just generally getting interest and getting used to that area and that sector. So again, you've got another 3 graduates there looking at their now. So where are they now? Again, really important, and sort of can be compared when you're looking at yourself and where you might want to be getting to. So UCFB has been ranked, we're really proud of this, ranked as the best by Unicompare in December 2017, higher education institution in the UK for employment prospects, polling number 1 out of 425 at the University Compare Annual Student Experience Awards. And this is what we were talking about when we're looking at employment prospects, really enriching you as a person. So getting you the skills, the experiences, the CV, I suppose, the CV that will allow you to go on and grab those opportunities and be top of that pile. And also the bottom one, circa 600 new placements opened in 2018-19 with 30,000 hours completed by students. Now, again, doing work experience works both ways. You're giving to a company. I know you're taking the experience away, but you're also giving your time, your efforts, your manpower to a company, which is really, really valued within sport and football and events. So again, it's getting in there, giving your time, being proactive, making sure that if a job came up there, you'd made a really, really good impression. And that's where we go all the way through here. We don't want you to achieve a degree and then not be able to specialize within that area because you can't secure employment because it's so competitive and you haven't got the experience or the skill set that's needed, I suppose. Okay, so we're really proud of this figure as well. Over 90% of UCFB's 2018 graduates are in employment within 6 months of graduating, and almost 2/3 are currently working in sport. And I mentioned at the beginning, and I suppose I've touched upon it all the way through, sport and football is really competitive, and events are really competitive industries, but they're amazing. They are so different. They're full of passion. They're full of opportunity, but it's about having something to offer the sector as well as what the sector can offer you. So they're amazing. Please don't let the competitive element put you off. Sport and football is amazing because people want to work in what they enjoy. And that's what we say to students all the time. Study what you enjoy. There's no point studying something because your friend did, or because it's going to potentially can earn you a lot of money, or potentially could open doors for you if you're not going to enjoy it. There's no point in opening those doors if you're not going to like it. You're going to be working for a long time in relation to your life, from where you're at the moment. So what will you enjoy? What is on offer? What would you love to do every day? We don't want something that's going to give you that Sunday night feeling of, oh no, not another week. We want you to be interested in something that's going to really, really enrich your life, I suppose. Sounds cheesy, but really make you enjoy what you do. And when you enjoy what you do, you will achieve more. You'll be more successful. So I mentioned at the beginning about signposting you to further events. Now, for open days and events, please keep an eye on our website for more details. So there it is, ucfb.ac.uk, really easy one to remember. But again, it's just really important just to keep your eye on what's being offered. We're not the doors at the moment within HE and within the sectors are opening, and it's about grabbing whatever will help you get through that door, if that makes sense. And UCFB may be the opportunity that you need to then equip yourself with the skill set, enrich yourself with the experience to then work within the sector. And the final thing I'm going to add is something actually new for 2019. As we're looking at sport as a global sector, so again, I've not really mentioned this all the way through, but sport is really global. We are looking at the global sports industry not just being within sort of the country that you've studied in or the country that you're currently living in. We're looking at it being international. So at UCFB, we've started in 2019, so this is our first year of doing it, global hubs. Now, this gives our students the opportunity to go and see the sport culture in other countries. And you'll also be you'll be basing these hubs within stadiums. And again, it's something else to add to that CV, to add to what will enrich you as a person, not just to work, but to live. You can talk about this. It's just such a fantastic opportunity. You can see the 4 that we offered this year are on there. And again, how they work is they work as a free to attend event for all students. You get invited. You don't have to go to all of them. You might go to one of them. You might not go to any of them, but they're an opportunity to go over and see how the sporting industry, how the sector's changing, how very different each, I suppose, part of the world is when it comes to working within their sports sector. And it's about having that knowledge and having that, just even listening to the guest speakers there is amazing because you can compare them directly and they're so different, but also so amazing. And again, if you hear some good practice that you hear, in a different country, bring it back, talk about it. Oh, well, when I went to the Red Bull Arena, I heard so-and-so doing a guest speaker session, and they were talking about how they've moved their company forward. And again, it just enriches you and you can bring more to the table when it comes to writing your assignments, when it comes to getting a job, also just when it comes to discussing the sector, with other people who are interested. So it's something to think about. And if you want more information on those, please check on our website because there's loads and loads of information on there. But just to sort of reiterate that sport and football, we do not have to be looking at a very small area or one area of the world, but a small sector. We're talking about the potential of, well, it is an international, really, really massive sector, which is really exciting, and potential of working and not having the restrictions, I suppose, to say, oh, well, what you're going to study. It will only equip you to work here and do this. Sport and football isn't like that. You've really got lots and lots on offer. So hopefully, I know I've sort of talked for 30 minutes, but hopefully it's made, this webinar has made it slightly clearer who we are, what we offer, where we offer it, and why might it be right for you. And again, it might not be, which is absolutely fine, but it's just about finding out all the information. You can't make a decision or even do further research if you don't know. If you don't know what's on offer, or you don't know maybe what you might want to do. Do as much research as you possibly can. Have a look at our website. Have a look on there. There's also a contact form on there and live chat facility. If you need to ask any questions, there'll be someone on there to answer your questions. So yeah, again, good luck. The biggest thing I can say is good luck, because you're at a really exciting time in your career. Really exciting. And you're going to be given opportunities now that you need to grab. So again, do further research. If you need to contact us, please do. You know, that's what we're there for. We're there to make sure you're going to make the right decision in your career and where you want to go. Okay, so thank you so much for listening. Thank you for sort of tuning into this webinar. And if you need any more information, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Thank you. Bye.